Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on Atsu, and yeah, we're gonna go through this one with relative ease. The plan is basically to wait until turn 3 to go. We're gonna have Camilla pop up from the secret surprise hole, and then take out Ike here, and then from there on, we'll just, bish bosh boo. Figure out the rest as we go. Not too much to really think about, aside from any potential complications that may arise from me just being dumb. But that being said, I thought the trailer would have been on Tuesday, but it's the 28th, which is Wednesday, so it's looking like it's probably going to be tonight. If not tonight, then I don't know when it's going to be, because there aren't that many days left, but it's looking like it's probably going to be on Wednesday. And I don't know, that's interesting. I thought that they have posted some content on the Faye Nintendo website, YouTube channel. I didn't watch any of it, but I don't know, maybe there's something interesting there. But I'm really just waiting on the trailer to see who it is, so that I can get that tidbit of excitement out of the way and be disappointed, because we all know it's going to be probably disappointing, or at least I'm hoping it is, because I don't want to spend any, or I don't have any orbs to spend really. But yeah, thought the trailer would have been last night, but it was not. So that's about that. Not much else going on. I'm trying to think of if I'm missing anything out. It's another bonus season for for Elm, which means there isn't much that you can do on defense to get away from him, aside from, try to set up the units, your bulky units with distant counter in the front, and then pray and hope that everything works out. And then from there, it's really not much else that you can do to stop Elm from doing his thing. We get to use him another week on offense. I finally changed the what is his name? Brave Crom builds. I dropped the water sweep because I already have Layla on the team, so it doesn't need to be duplicated in that sense. But then also, it doesn't really account for much these days when there's so much null counter disrupt being passed around with the dragons Aliers. So I decided it wasn't for the best. So why did you go there? But at least we have a spot that we can potentially warp into. But I was actually looking to attack from that spot that Plumeria danced into. So I guess it's pretty genius defense building, so that Plumeria blocks that spot. But she does leave a gap there, which can potentially be harmful, because it's leaving Golvig exposed, and she's not the bulkiest unit. So I don't know if they were aware that that would happen, but we're going to take advantage of that. We got Camilla now. Gonna have to waste a reposition with I think Elm here, and then we'll figure it out from there. It's not gonna be too much. Just gonna box in Bernadetta, because she's just in a position that looks easy to box in, and then from there it should be GG's. Yeah, we're getting into the busy month, or the expensive summer months for Faye. If you don't have any orbs saved up, it's probably gonna, there's still some time that you can get some saved up, so I'd probably recommend that. But usually we have pretty decent summer units that introduce powerful effects and can typically tank really well. I'm particularly concerned about summer snakes. Don't know if that's going to be a thing, but it might happen. Let's see how that goes. And aside from that, Jim broke it in a summer ult, although I don't think it's going to happen, since he did win on CYL, so he's going to get a Brave ult, so they might just skip the summer version if there was one planned. And we'll see what they got for his Brave. Hopefully they make him an armored unit. I think bonus doubler on an armored unit would be interesting. I'd love to see it. And then on top of that, him just being really bulky as a overall unit, I think would transition well into him being an armored unit. And the Brave Banner is the best opportunity for them to do so. I don't see them just giving him an armored ult. Well, they could, but I do think the Brave Banner is the best way to do it.
They will submit.
Yeah, we're just gonna pick our target here.
Okay.
Alright. Leon is down. All I gotta do now is get rid of the last... I don't even have to get rid of the dual units. I'm just picking them on purpose because I don't think there was a... Oh yeah, there is. I just can't see it because of the purple haze, which they really need to do something about. I don't know what they can do to alleviate this, but I can't see anything below the purple. I don't know if they need to tone it down or something, but it really does obstruct your view. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a part of the benefits of using the haze terrain, or if it's just bad design. I don't know. But sometimes you don't even remember what the traps are. I picked up watching Insecure with Issa Rae. Insecure. It's an HBO show that's on Netflix. It's alright. Nothing like super crazy. The first season you can tell that they were just doing their thing because the acting wasn't that great. Probably the direction as well, but it has picked up to some extent, so I can see improvements, and I guess it'll get better over time. But right now I'm just looking to get through season 2 and then onwards to season 4. There's like 6 seasons, so it shouldn't be too long. I didn't really want anything too long. Yeah, it just works out better to have kind of a shorter series. I really went through the anime pool for the season, and nothing was really that interesting to me. Nothing really stood out. Oh, Solo Leveling winning Anime of the Year. Wow. Beating out Free Run, which was more than likely going to be my pick. It was definitely my pick, but can't always have nice things. Just trying to figure out how to look at the pot here. That aside, what are your like thoughts, or what is your predictions for this upcoming banner? Legendary, probably going to be legendary. I think we're going to get mythic at the end of July when the mid book comes. It's probably going to be Boulder or Holder or one of them. One of the girlies. We'll get one of them most definitely. But I don't know who's going to be on this legendary banner. I don't have any clear-cut ideas. I mean, a lot of people are saying engage, and I could see some options, but I really don't know. I'm not like... The predictions are like kind of pointless, I feel. They just put out whoever they want to at this point. And we just deal with it. You know, whatever unit comes up, we just deal with it and we keep it going. Keep playing the game, and they keep selling this stuff. Fantastic art at that. Which reminds me, Henry's Resplendent was like out of the blue. I didn't even like realize. I was like, oh, what is this? When did this happen? You know, I have no attachment to him whatsoever, so he's definitely getting foddered or bookmarked. But yeah, it looks great. It looks not as good as Claire. Every time Claire's art pops now, I think that she's a 5-star because her art is just fantastic. I don't know if they did that because they know that Claire's going to get an ult soon, or because they have to do the voice, or it's not have to, they do voice lines in the meantime when they're giving them the Resplendent. But hopefully Claire gets an ult because this art looks fantastic. But yeah, man, let's play another match, man. GG's. Okay, here's our second match for the day. So we are now able to see what the banner is. So this is second match. I basically just fell asleep and I ended up waiting the entire day. So I ended up watching the banner and you know, Black Knight. Wow. I find that very interesting because a lot of people, I have been seeing quite a few playthroughs of I forget which game he's from, Tellius, Radiant Dawn, one of them, I forget which one, you know, going on right now. Not just Satachi, but a couple other people have been playing through that game as well. So very interesting that they dropped the most popular, one of the most popular units from that game on the legendary banner, as it's kind of like an ongoing thing. I really do wonder sometimes if IS is paying attention to what the community is doing and using that to determine who to put out, because it feels very targeted. It feels like a targeted push towards selling banners, and Black Knight will definitely sell banners because he's very, very popular. I'm still waiting on him to have some type of warp mechanic built in, but I guess they've given us the Celica ring, so they're probably just wanting us to depend on that. It's great to have a red sword version of Black Knight again, because the last one we had was, I think, Zelgius, or, you know, I'm even thinking back as far as the Grail shop days, the one from the Grail. He's also like my favorite voice lines in the game. That fool, it still hits, know your place. Woo! Them voice lines are fire, man. I really want them to incorporate those into the one that he has now, or if there's a way that we could just, you know, put all the voice lines onto one character. Well, not all, but, you know, the voice lines from the previous alts onto one character. That would be really cool. There's a lot of cosmetic things that, well, that's not really cosmetic, is it? But I mean, a lot of things that Fate could do to make the game a little bit more interactive, but they just choose not to because it would be too expensive and probably too difficult to build in. It's not like I'm not imagining a big development team, even though they could potentially have the budget to do so. But in any case, Black Knight, fantastic selection. I am looking forward to his release. I have like 30 orbs maybe, so I'm probably gonna have to skip when it comes out, or at least wait so that I can get some more orbs gathered before I try to pull. Erica's on the... It's a decent banner, in my opinion. I'd love to get some copies of Yunaka, probably even just one. I wasn't very lucky on her debut, so I doubt I'll be able to pick up any copies of her here either, because that's typically how your luck goes. But yeah, hopefully I get a Yunaka. Hector, what am I saying? Black Knight himself is looking like a counter to a lot of what's going on in the meta right now, which is very dependent on sweep effects and hardy bearing, or, you know, desperation rather. And he has hardy bearing, which is one of the two components essentially neutered. So I don't know how that's going to function in his season. I think this season is fire. Don't know how that's going to function. We're just going to have to wait every time. It's awkward being an armored unit as a legendary, because those stat boosts are very important to how you function, especially when you're an armored unit. So it's very important to have those additional stats allocated across everything pretty much, and that's what they do. So I don't know, man, it's going to be interesting to see what he's like when he's released and what he's like after. There's probably going to be some amount of difference there in terms of performance, and that's really the thing that you want to test him against to know if he's going to be consistent or not moving forward in the meta. You want to make sure that he's able to be stressed in a season where you're running powerful nukes. So depending on how popular or how much he's pulled, I might not be able to use Yunaka anymore, which sucks. Yeah, that's probably going to suck, but we'll see what happens. If the Yunaka team falls through, you're just going to have to figure something else out, I guess. I don't know. But that's a problem for Light and Dark season. It's not time yet. Right now, we're still just using Elm to pretty much cheese maps, and Elm and Lin, very straightforward. You know, do you have to pay attention sometimes just to make sure that errors aren't being made? But aside from that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. So yeah, almost done here. Pretty weird map. Units were just kind of in the back there chilling. Duma was interesting, I guess. I think he is bonus, right? Yeah, he's bonus. It's, yeah, Duma and Elm. It's interesting how they were able to kind of, what's the word? Figure out pigeonhole, or that's not really a word, but it's interesting how IS has figured out a way to get Duma to be more used or more desirable, because really there's not much that he has to offer, especially since his C skill is essentially locked to running what's that thing, upheaval. So he's not like the greatest option as an armored. If he had like extra movement, then there's probably a way that he, I think that's one of the things that they realized and they've rectified with the armors that they've been releasing for defense since Duma. They haven't really been messing up their C skills, maybe even B skills as well. I don't know if I want to go that far, but Yeah, Duma is really just locked into being upheaval units. I guess you can give him additional skills to change him into something else, but his main playstyle in Ether Raid is to use upheaval, and they've done a decent enough job to keep him somewhat relevant, I feel, because I mean, as a far save, he's just not the greatest. He does a job, but he's really not desirable. You really want to be running someone else far or near save instead of Duma. And then if you're doing that with Duma, then he's not doing the upheaval thing, and that's really his gimmick. So I feel like they've done a decent enough job in keeping him as a relevant anima defense mythic. No one really, his niche has not been completely obliterated. They haven't power crept him in a way that, you know, they haven't released a Duma that does the same thing. There is a Duma that kind of does the same thing, but not exactly, and at least not in anima season the way that this defense version does it. So kudos for us for at least not completely power creeping their unit. I still think he got a terrible refine. They really could have done a lot more with it. Because by the time that they did that, the save skills were already out, and all they needed to do was give him far save or near save in his C skill to make him, you know, give him longevity. Unless they move the save skills from the C skill at some point in the future, I don't know where it would go. A skill maybe? But unless they do that at some point, or allow armors to save without using a save skill, like some type of emblem ring maybe, I could see that being a way to revive someone like Duma. But for now, he is not in the greatest spot. Very low on the totem pole in terms of defense mythics. Not lower than Leaf and Thrasir, who for whatever reason they refuse to give her an ult. I think Thrasir is fantastic. They just need to give her an ult to make her the one that she's just not that great anymore. I definitely think she deserves some more representation. We're just working on taking out a few extra units here. We're gonna leave Duma for the last since he's the least mobile. And it's after turn 1 and he's already done his thing, and it's really just a one-shot gimmick. Kind of like no, I can't say that. I can't say what I was just thinking. Not that type of channel. But yeah, Duma, we're just gonna let him chill, and then we're gonna get the pots. Do I have any additional thoughts about the banner? The banner itself is pretty decent. I think it's a great opportunity to pick up Erica. I think this is a fantastic share for her since she's sharing with the new legendary. Yunaka is going to be a stretch. You probably don't want to be trying to get Yunaka when she's sharing with Tree Man and Jimbro. Probably not the greatest share there. And then the rest of it, not that great. I did, however, see Freyr, and I was thinking, why is Freyr here? So that thought did occur to me. It seems like they may potentially be cooking something with Freyr being on this banner. It's very unusual. Something might be up. He hasn't ran for a while, so look out for that. But GG's, man. See you in the next one.